Oh. Hello and welcome to the Dream Team Tonic podcast. Hey, tonight we are joined by Tony. Congratulations on the new arrival.
Cheers, mate.
And which one we've got with us? Is that Noel or is that Liam?
All right, our kid. Got the buzz in me, mate. Yeah, mega. Going down money for the Coke and the burger.
Remove that disguise and show off that lovely Ben White tan you've got going on, Ben. Show us what you've got here. Well, anyway, welcome to the Dream Team Tonic podcast. In this episode, we're going to be talking about Madueke for an hour, I think. How's that sound?
Yeah, sounds great.
There he is. Lovely Ben White tan there.
See you, mate.
We're going to kick things off with our teams so far, but we're midway through game week 2. We've got Carabao Cup action taking place currently. Not quite sure whether Robenham's just scored or McNeil has just added insult to injury to my game week. Apparently he got a deflection. So unlucky to Dan Cox. He says he's got Imodium from Everton. We'll see whose goal that comes down to. Loads in the chat. We're doing this one live to everyone because we're a little bit later than usual getting this one out. So evening to Mr. H, Owen Higgins, Ian Curry, Kyle, Miss Noopy, Philip, Patrick, Mark, Graham, Stu. Who else we got? Dan, Nathan Wisby, James. I think that's it. And Connor come to tell us about getting Madueke in as well. I think we've got a vote. We've got a vote or a poll on the go as well. Is Madueke essential? Get your answers on the poll. Who wants to go first?
Yeah, my week's been a blur, so I'll go first. Obviously new arrival, so a little bit tired, a little bit run down. I'm probably a bit grayer. Anyway, 108 so far for the week. Captain Haaland, who come up with a hat-trick. No surprise there. In goal, McCarthy got 5 points. Quite a few saves there for him. Not so bad. I think he went up 0.1 as well, which were a surprise, but take that. Vardio, who I brought in for Bruno G, only got me 4, but that was more a long-term transfer. The danger was if he did clean against Ipswich, he might have ran away in price. So get him in now, let him stay there. Trent, 9 points. His price probably going to increase again. Hopefully it stops a few people being able to get him in from last week to this week. Robinson, 9 points. Doing really well, Robinson. It's been a decent start for him, as predicted from us. Hall, not too happy with 2 points, dropped. But yeah, he's on the chopping block for me. Newcastle don't look too good. They've been I don't know. I think they've stung a few because I think there were quite a few teams that went heavy Newcastle to begin with as well. Yeah, I started with Hall, Bruno G, and Isak, and I mean Bruno G. To be fair, he'll get your points and plenty of bonus points, but yeah, Hall and Isak haven't really cut it. Matoma, who I brought in for Szoboszlai, nice 0.3 price rise and a 6 points, an assist. Saka, 8 points. Kamada got 2, and then he has scored tonight so far. We're waiting for him to get his hat trick. So
8 points at the minute.
8 points, 11. So he got 3, so 11 for the week so far. Salah, 11 points, another goal, doing his bit. And Isak, just not really doing much. So he's for the chopping block. I know what happens. You take them out and then they bang. But I've got to chase these price rises, ensure that my budget is good, especially after the first 8 weeks or so. So happy enough, steady enough, 108.
Matoma done all right, didn't he? Coming in, getting the assist. Didn't really get that good at that game, but still done the business for points.
Yeah.
What about you, Ben? Team didn't ruin the holiday.
Pardon?
Team didn't ruin the holiday.
No. Although I couldn't get onto my Bet365 fantasy team, so that team's in the mud. I couldn't captain Haaland, stayed on Salah.
Oh, no.
But that's a different story. 114 points so far before tonight. Hermanson, 3 points. Not playing tonight. Alexander Arnold, 9. Robinson come in for me. I took out Barco, yeah. Oh, Barco who ended up going out on loan to Sevilla. So yeah. I had 500,000 in the bank, so I could get Robinson. Porro, another 9 points. He's doing all right.
Yeah.
Saka with 8. Literally, what did he get? An assist? And the other goal, I think he pretty much created that goal, didn't he, as well? So
yeah, looked good.
Kamada got dropped at the weekend, but come off the bench and got 5 ppm, which isn't too bad. And nearly got into the 3 bonus points. But yeah, he's got a goal tonight, so buzzing with that. Eze 5 from the weekend. Fatawu, another transfer, brought him in. Watched him a lot last year and noticed how much he tracks back and wins a lot of tackles. Also, excellent dribbler with the ball. Bit like Kudus. Just excellent at dribbling, and he gets quite a lot of crosses in and that. So I thought I'll give him a chance. He was going up anyway because he got an assist against Spurs. So I brought him in and he got a 0.3 rise. It's only a short-term transfer till Europe starts, but I was hoping to get him in the Tranmere game tonight, but he's on the bench. And Mavididi come in, who hasn't started any games this season, and he's scored a penalty. So, yeah, just unlucky there. He might come off the bench and do something, but, yeah. So, I've got 3 out of my 6 have not started tonight, and obviously I think Robinson and Hermanson ain't in the squad. No. Isak looks like he's going to start tomorrow, and Kamada and Eze are playing, so not done too bad out of the 6. Salah 11 points, Isak with 3, and Haaland captain 48 points. I think like Tony said, I don't really want to take Isak out. He's got a good record against Tottenham, but might have to generate some funds by selling him because it looks like he's going down now. He's averaging, 4.5 over the 2 games, so looks like he's under average.
I think that's going to be like the topic of the episode, or topic of 2 episodes running, isn't it, really? Like, are you going for the players that sort of have good fixtures coming up, or do you go with price changes? I think there's a lot of that in the questions that we come to.
Also depends on who goes through in the Carabao Cup, doesn't it? Because we in game week 4, we have a double game week. If possible, some teams will be playing doubles, like your Crystal Palaces and Newcastle. So yeah, it might be interesting.
We should find out European draws as well, shouldn't we? Hopefully,
yeah, Thursday.
Thursday. So we'll see how that goes. Because I mean, if some of the guys that we would like to look up for Europe end up with really bad first ties, maybe we do end up keeping someone like Isak. All pretty similar points wise. I know we still got today to go, but I think it's been a decent start all round, hasn't it? Really. I've got Sels in goal, who's kept a clean sheet. He got a rise last week without keeping a clean sheet, so he should be getting a rise again. I'm quite happy with that choice in goal. I've got Hull, like Tony, which is a problem that I didn't want to have to deal with, to be honest. But we'll see. Maybe he can pick up a few points tomorrow, potentially. Vardiol, 4. City doing what they do best, conceding, was it the only shot of the game, I think it was?
Sammy Smodics.
Yeah, you'll go on, say it.
Used to play for Rovers, he did.
Mate, I'm fuming. I'm fuming. We should have been signing players like him. Was he 25 million?
9 million there.
Was he 9 million?
Yeah, they robbed us.
We've just spent 25 million on Skip from Tottenham.
Honestly, I thought the exact same when it come up and said, "Oh, he skipped since stand," and he's sat there 25 million. I think the
what was that about?
Thing he's got going is that he's young.
Yeah,
Smodic's obviously 28. He turns 29 next month, I think it is. But still, Championship top scorer. He knows where that onion bag is. He's
yeah.
It
reminds me so much of Vardy, the way he plays as well.
Yeah.
Would have been a great player to bring in because he can play on the wing, he can play number 10 as well, he can play centre forward if you need him to.
Yeah.
We're desperate for someone like that now.
When you might have Face going by the sounds of things as well.
He's playing tonight, isn't he?
Yeah, was he saying he wants out, wasn't he?
Something about that he's not happy playing left centre half. He got the ball passed to him. At left centre back, and he tried to do a flick.
I saw that
round the corner flick, and then he tried to blame the goalkeeper because he lost the ball.
Wow.
Robinson, I've got the same as you guys. He's done everything we wanted, really, hasn't he? Tackles in one game, assist in this one. Eze, he's probably going to be one that we're going to have to think about reluctantly because I think he's been unlucky these first 2 matches.
Really unlucky.
Goal,
incredibly unlucky.
Goal ruled out in that first one. He hit the crossbar, didn't he, in the West Ham game?
Yeah.
And if they'd have been like a centimetre out and the referee hadn't made a mistake, he'd be in that sort of essential category that everyone talks about.
Definitely.
Saka, 8 points. And then it gets ugly for me. So Maddison, last pod I said that I was probably going to roll. And I was reading all about these Everton having 14 players and that they were in for a world of hurt against Spurs, which they were.
Excuse me.
With a 4-0 loss. But Dwight McNeil, he actually, on the day, had max bonus. And I was thinking, how has this happened? Maximum bonus. I've taken him out. Overnight, he actually dropped down a PPM to 11. I replaced him with Pereira, who I also thought was decent for bonus, but he has some really nice fixtures for Fulham. So I went for him, and he hit max bonus, but then got deducted overnight as well. So not much lost or gained there. We're just waiting to see people. I don't know if people on the wind up are telling me that McNeil scored when he hasn't. It's down as an Robinham goal currently. But people in our Discord telling me it's a McNeil goal. I don't know if they're winding me up or what.
Have to check.
We'll see. And then I bought Maddison in for Morgan Gibbs-White, who also did nothing in the first game. I was watching extended highlights. I was listening to Forest fan channels, seeing what everyone was saying. They said he didn't really do much. So in the end, I got a bit itchy and I ended up making 2 moves. So Maddison in, Pereira in, and it looks, Gibbs-White then went on to score, and potentially McNeil's gone on to score if people aren't winding me up. So lesson learned, maybe it's better to do nothing. But it could have been worse. Maddison 9, Pereira 6. Haaland, captain, hat-trick, just does what he does, doesn't he? Salah 11, and then Isak again, same problem with you guys, same front 3.
Looks like the template might be changing next week.
Yeah.
Free.
Madueke, All right. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. This is out live to everyone, like I mentioned. If you're interested in becoming one of our Discord / Patreon members, there'll be a link in the description below. Usually we'll record this for Patreon members and then post it out a couple of days later. But yeah, we'll go straight on to the questions.
2-0 Palace.
Come on, is it Eze or is he off?
I'm not sure yet. It's not come up with who scored yet.
Kamada.
I hope so.
No, it's not. I don't know if it is.
I knew you wanted to do it.
Yeah, someone do the live updates. Give us Paul Merson vibes. We'll start with walkingfootball.com's question.
Just a shout out there for Jordan.
Oh yeah,
he's been very kind. Nice one for the super chat, mate. Yes, lads, best start I've had on Dream Team. Would you roll another transfer this week?
Is that Jordan Jackson? Which do we know?
I'm not too sure. I don't think it is JJ. No.
Did you roll?
Jordan?
Did you let us know? Did you roll last week as well? If you're saying roll another transfer, it's hard to know without the team.
Yeah, he is in the chat as well. So yeah,
pop your team in. We'll come back to it. Yeah.
Kamada assist as well for that second goal. Mateta goal.
Nice, nicely done, lads. Yeah, should Jordan put his team in, and we'll come back to that one once it's in the chat.
Definitely.
Go on, Jordan. But yeah, thank you. Walkingfootball.com's question: would you put in a no-hoper of playing in the next match just to get the price rises on 2 key players to build budget so you can improve your squad the week after? A no-hoper.
Is that because, does he have free transfers then?
I don't think so.
You're saying put a no-hoper in and then you're getting...
Yeah, I think Walking Football was saying last week, did he not say we're going to roll the transfers? I think you were doing that with you, Scott, as you were planning on doing as well. So he has got the 3 transfers, like you say, he's just throwing in a 1 mil. Just to get the
2 yeah, so putting in a useless player to get 2, to be able to afford 2 that are going to get a rise. Is that right? No, how's that work?
I'm not too sure, but I would not put any no-hoper into my team. You can balance it out. You don't have to go for the people that have looking likely to go 0.3 last week. It's just about when you're making your transfers, just to keep budget in mind, but also keep the next 2 or 3 fixtures in mind and your team building as well. You don't want to start tearing your team apart and having it booking transfers in for the next 2-3 weeks. You need to be still building a team that's going to get you some points.
Well, what do you reckon, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, there is loads of cheap players anyway that are playing, so there's no point just putting someone in. I keep seeing, is it Hill at Bournemouth? People keep putting him in, and I'm thinking, well, I've seen it on your Twitter. People are saying, "Oh, I'm putting Hill in and just playing with 10 men," but I don't see the point in that. I mean, there is players at 1.5 million, 1.8. Kamada's 1.8. You're going to get a rise out of him now. There's loads of cheap players. Like, what's he called? I can't even remember. Last week you tried to pronounce his name. Tim. I just call him Tim from Everton.
Arobenham. Tim Arobenham.
He's just scored, so he'll get a rise. But yeah, ideally, well, obviously, the Palace go through. They should have a double in game week 4 as well. So
he's just scored. He's on 11 tackles.
I don't believe he's on 11 tackles. I'm getting him into Telegraph.
11 tackles, 3 bonus points, and a goal.
Is that including the other 2 games, or is that?
No, that's
11 tackles tonight.
Yeah, because he got 9 in the first match.
Yeah,
didn't
it's 20 tackles in 2 games.
Leading now. Could be a good one, eh?
Yeah. So yeah, you just go for him instead of a 1 mil. Just get him in. I'm not liking the no-hoper thing. Obviously, I'm all for building budget, but you've got 11 players, haven't you?
I mean, like Ben just said about the 1.5, him at 1.8, going to go up 0.3 again this week. I mean, he's priced as a no-hoper, but he's doing the business, so just get someone in like him. There's plenty of them out there.
Jordan said it is Jordan Jackson. So
it is
JJ. If we can see if one of you can bring up his team, if you've got him in a mini league or something. Nathan Reeve is saying, is Gusto a good option with Chelsea's fixtures, even with a probable price drop, or are there any other defenders you prefer around the price point? So Gusto 3.5 is he? I think. Yeah, 3.5.
Isn't Reece James back as well in 2 games' time? From
I think he's injured.
Oh, is he?
I think he's injured now.
Oh, it's shocking, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just give up.
I was going to ask. I had a bit of an answer for it, and I was going to ask you a bit about obviously your old manager, because I was looking at it, and it looks like Gusto is the player that's inverting. It looks like they're sort of becoming a back three.
Yeah.
And then it looks like Gusto, rather than last season when he was sort of bombing forward, he looks like he's sort of inverting when you look at the heat maps. Is that something he was doing at Leicester?
Yeah.
Your manager?
That's what he's doing with Ricardo Pereira.
Yeah. Oh, you mentioned Pereira, didn't you?
Yeah, he's coming inside and playing as a midfielder.
So I think that makes Gusto not as good of an option as what we remember from last season. Yeah, it looks like a free. So it looks like they've got sort of Cucurella, Colwill, Fofana, and then Gusto's making up a midfield three with Enzo and Caicedo from the heat maps. So if that's the case, I mean, he got quite a few assists last season, and he was getting bonus for the crosses. But do you reckon there's a less chance that he gets that if they're playing that way?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't think I'd go there anyway, just for his price, 3.5. I think there's better options. And obviously, Chelsea don't have a double in game week 5. So I won't be looking at maybe the only player. Well, I'm not going on to that yet. Anyway, Chelsea's got a double in game week 5. No double in game week 5. So I probably won't bother going there. I want to try and maximise it. And with the Europa teams, they don't seem to keep the fixed 11, do they, in Europe?
No.
Like Chelsea last week rotated, didn't they? They even changed the goalie. And you've got that problem possibly with Tottenham and Man United as well. So, yeah, I'll be looking more at Villa, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City defenders.
Yeah, I think I agree. It just feels, I think at Chelsea, apart from obviously Palmer, it feels like there's just too many like unknowns still, I think, this early.
Yeah. Just obviously whilst you were talking about Gusto, just come back to Jordan's team. He's had a cracking week. Every player's scored like 8 or 9 points. He's in a very good position where, other than Isak, I think every player will go up in price. But he could save that transfer roll to 4 for next week, and he's, because obviously we're on an international break, aren't we?
Yeah.
So it could be a few injuries and other things that happen during these, and he could have pretty much a mini wild card.
Yeah.
Coming back after the international break, so you're in a good position there, Jordan. I know you've had a nice start as well, mate. So yeah, I'd roll that transfer. I'd leave Isak in if I were in your position, and just let him go, because you're not going to lose any budget. You can have a nice, healthy budget as well.
Yeah, go for it. I learned the hard way. Sometimes doing nothing is the better call if you like in the look of your team.
Yeah, I really like that, especially with the international break after this game week. Like you say, you're going to have 4 transfers to reset your team ready for Europe.
Part of Nathan's question was any other defenders around the price point of 3.5 if we didn't like Gusto. It's a hard one. I think there's a bit of a gap in there, the jump.
Yeah. I think Aston Villa's got some value in defence. They've got Pau Torres, 3.6. With Matty Cash injured now, looks like he might be out till September. You could go for Nedeljkovic, who's just come off the bench at the weekend. He's only 2.5 million. Could get a good run of games. The left-hand side, I'm not too sure about what they're going to do there, because Digne is playing at the moment, but they keep bringing Maatsen off the bench. Konsa's the best one to really get, but he's 4 million. Can you push there? He'll be good for bonus. Yeah. He's got 2 bonus already this season.
Romero's had a joke week, and he's 3.4. He's not going to do that every week, is he? But a goal, 2 shots, 6 tackles, 19 points. Obviously, got Newcastle up next though.
Yeah, I'm just worried in Europe that Tottenham and Man U are going to rotate a little bit. I know that I don't know about Onana. Onana usually plays, doesn't he? But he did in the Europa last year.
Have they actually got a backup keeper yet?
They got that. Is it Bayinde, the Turkish keeper?
Yeah, I think they'll just keep Onana, won't they?
Yeah.
They did last season. I've got my eye on Timber at 3.4 as a cheap way into Arsenal, but I just don't think he's going to get. I don't think he's going to get 2 a week.
Yeah, Calafiori and what's his name, Zinchenko as well.
Yeah, I don't think he's safe for 2 a week. But I mean, if you fancied a clean sheet, if you all the Prem games, you could go there. But I do think it's asking for trouble at the moment.
Mickey van der Ven.
Yeah, it's just they don't
3.5
defend, do they? Spurs. I mean, they kept one against Everton, but
yeah.
As well. What's his name? Rico Lewis is playing at the moment, but with Man City, it's probably just going to change it when the Champions League starts and Walker's back in. So it's scary, that one. You'll get another rise.
Yeah.
Probably as well.
There's a lot of bad fixtures this week, actually. This could be one of them weeks where you might just go for the price rise or
I think
reassess.
I think it also depends how many non-European players you've got in your squad. If you've got like 4, you probably could go for someone like a Robinson, bring him in against Ipswich, and then move him on the week after, because it looks like Fulham are through anyway. So they'll get the double. They'll get Ipswich in 3, and then they'll have a double in 4, and then you can move him on for a European player if you want to, or just keep him there as a cheap sort of an enabler until you need the money, because he'll probably just keep going up. Just even playing 1 game a week is with his tackles.
Just seen Mateta scored a second, 2 goals, 1 assist. Apparently an Eze assist, Jake Jones is saying, but
it's come on. As the assist.
He got a hat trick in the last second round last season. Mateta.
DT Patrick, best captaincy choice for game week 3. Dare you lads go against Haaland again? Not again this time. Let's rank them.
It's got to be team. Obviously, it's team dependent, isn't it?
So you've got. Let's get the fixtures up.
Haaland away at West Ham. Salah away at United. Saka home to Brighton. Obviously, Brighton started the season well. When people were being a little bit itchy about Matoma, it's not got the greatest fixtures with United and Arsenal coming up, playing all right against United. It's a tricky one this week. It's a tricky one. Home fixture for Arsenal might sway it to Saka.
I can't go against Haaland. Not West Ham. I know it's away, but Salah's got a really good record against United, though, hasn't he?
He does.
I think I will go Haaland.
Could be a good week. Like Haaland's got a decent record against West Ham. Salah, like you say, Salah's got a good record against Man United, even at Old Trafford. Brighton look a bit shaky at the back, I think. But Arsenal are at home, so could be a good one. I think there'll be lots of differentials this week, differential captain picks. Obviously, it's only a single game week as well. Palmer, I feel we're bringing him in.
Yeah, I was going to say, would you consider captain in Palmer if you bought him in? It's a nice fixture.
Like I was saying as well, Saka could be a differential. Not Saka, Isak could be a differential as well against Tottenham. He's got a really good record against Tottenham, and they're at home. Mbumo. What about Mbumo against Southampton? Beyond penalties as well.
Yeah.
There's differentials and then there's differentials.
one game, innit? One game. It's not a double game week, so you could go for it. Yeah. Pretty much it, really.
That's the only thing. I did like the look of that fixture from Buemo, but then he's got City the week after.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess a lot will depend what we do with our transfers as well once we see these draws as well. I think.
Get on Tim, the tackle master.
Yeah. 20 tackles.
He started off on 5 points, isn't he? 7 if he plays out game.
Let us know in the chat who you're thinking of captain, and we'll go on to the next one from Bradders. So is it time to get Cold Palmer into the teams? 3 assists and a goal. Don't want to be without him much longer with the good run of fixtures. So we'll go back to the fixture ticker again. This is Ben's ticker. We've got Crystal Palace at home, Bournemouth away. We'll have a Carabao tie in game week 4 as well. Which do you think he'll start Carabao? I think he might.
He did play a lot in the Carabao last season, but they weren't in Europe then, were they? And then it's just England game week 5. So like maybe Foden will be back in the team by then. Players are quite expensive. De Bruyne, I don't know. It's a Champions League week as well. So is it Champions League week? Need to double check that.
Europa
League week, Europa League week. And they play Arsenal, so they'll be playing a cup match then, won't they? So it's not that scary. Could possibly rotate if they've got an easy draw. Champions League's the week before.
I guess the argument though was that he was the 3rd highest scorer, wasn't he, last season with no Europe?
Yeah.
Can he do it again?
You just plug him in and leave him in.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the singles. Like, remember when I took Saka out and he had a couple of singles and I got burnt with a double player?
I can't remember if he was doing it last season, but he was taking corners, wasn't he, in that Wolves game as well? It's always good to see. Obviously, talk today that I've seen everything with Chelsea. It's going to be silly season until it's wrapped up, but it was Ivan Toney at the start of the day, and now towards the end of the day, it's who's the Napoli striker again? Osimhen now is who they're linked with. So whether or not he keeps pens, if it's Toney or Osimhen, just don't know what they're going to do you really?
Have they not got enough players, Chelsea?
I think so. Let everyone else have some. Yeah, I must admit, I've toyed with putting him in a couple of drafts just to see what it looks like. Doesn't look too bad.
That's another thing as well. The price rises seemed a bit more aggressive this week, didn't they? With the high price players like Saka going up 0.3. Last season they were only going up like 0.1, 0.2 if they were really expensive. So it'd be interesting to see what Haaland goes up after a hat trick.
It's got to be a 0.3 in it, or are they going to turn around and say, "Well, we expected him to get a hat trick against Ipswich"?
Well, he's averaging 16.5 over two games, so surely.
I do think you could go without Palmer though. I do want him. I think at the moment everyone's sort of started quite nicely, haven't they? Really, when we were talking about can you cover Salah with Diaz or Jota earlier in like the pre-season, both have done. Salah's done well, but Jota and Diaz have both done well. Palmer's started well, Son's started well, Saka's started well. So I think Watkins is probably one of the only premiums that's not really, and Foden's not had a chance, has he? So
no, where was Foden?
Ill.
Hangover.
He did have that awards evening, didn't he? Yeah, I do think he's going to be popular this week. He's up there, isn't he? He's one of the transfers in. Coles, don't know how serious this one is. Jacob Murphy has a brilliant record versus Spurs. Would you bring him in? I think a lot of people started with him.
Honestly,
we'll wait and see if he gets a hat trick tomorrow, though, in the Carabao Cup.
I was looking at the previous results just to check on this. Obviously, I knew he was joking,
Is he having us on? Yeah.
I had a look, and he actually scored a brace in a 6-1 win in April 2023 against Spurs. Yeah.
Done his research, hasn't he, Coles? Not for me. Not for me.
No.
James McClure. One of the new features this season was the addition of a vice captain. Do you, number one, prefer with, 2, not bothered by it, or 3, prefer the game without a vice captain? Personally, I don't think it really improves the game.
I don't think it really matters. It's not mattered to anybody as of yet.
Yeah.
It only matters. It only matters when your captain don't play.
Yeah. When everyone's captain up and then someone falls ill before a game, or like one of the big hitters, that's when it's going to matter. But at this moment in time, I don't think it's probably ever come into play for anybody, I guess.
I remember twice last season I captained Haaland and he didn't play. So I'm really grateful for this new chip. I think it's not chip, the vice captain thing. So I think it'll be helpful when Haaland just randomly gets dropped, or whoever doesn't play through illness, like Foden this week didn't play through illness. And like Man City love to rotate. I would imagine Chelsea's going to be rotating like mad, because Maresca's from the same sort of cloth as Pep.
Yeah.
Diet Pep, wasn't it? That's what they're calling him. Yeah, it's just one of them ones, isn't it? It's not absolutely no harm, but it is going to save us at some point. You could have captained Foden, couldn't you, last week?
Mm.
And then you might have viced Haaland. You might not have, but
there's no harm having it in the game. No, it's a help if you need it.
Graham, is rolling your transfers an underrated move?
All depends, doesn't it? Like, obviously, we've just gone through. Just had a look at Jordan Jackson's team, and it's a really good move for him after last week, and now rolling into this week as well. It's worked out for him, so it can work. But yeah, it all depends on timing and other things.
Yeah, I learned the hard way. I was happy with my team, and then just having them transfers there, you just get itchy, don't you? You want to do something with them, even when you like your team. You start thinking, could I just tweak it slightly? I think if you like your team and you're not going to get battered by the price changes, I think there's no harm.
Yeah, that is the one. If you're going to get battered by the price changes, you got a couple that you know are going to drop 0.3, and it's so risky then just rolling and taking that hit, because then if they fail again the week after, you really are in the shit. So yeah, it's about balancing that out.
As our kid said, Liam, you gotta roll with it. You gotta take your time. Like you say, if you're happy with your team and everyone's going up, then it's a very good time to roll your transfers. But yeah, I like Scott said, I like to try and build the budget this early in the season. So if there's anyone you think that's not going to go up and you can get someone in with a price rise and good fixtures coming up, I think it's worth making a move.
We're seeing it already, aren't we? When we're starting to look to try and put together a team for Europe, it still is quite tough on budget. How are you all doing for your budget so far? I think I got to 51.2.
51.5.
51.3.
Nice. Not a bad start. Noop Doggy, Miss Noopy. Are Foden and Watkins must have for game week 3? This is an interesting one. Who's up first? Ben?
Yeah, well, at the moment, I don't know if I'm going to bother bringing them in yet. Foden, it's just you don't know what Pep's lying, saying he's ill or what, or he's just upset with him or something. He might not play for a few weeks until he might throw him in when the Champions League starts. Doesn't really need him at the minute, by the looks of it. Watkins, his fixtures look really good from now, but God, that miss was really bad, wasn't it?
Shocking.
But yeah, you could probably you could probably suck it up another week, get another price dropping him. Might go down to about 5.5 and get him in for game week 4 for the double game week. Is it Champions League starts then? Everton and the Champions League team. So we'll find out the draw on Thursday. But yeah, he scored in his last 2 games against Leicester, but it's so expensive. I think there's better players for that price at the minute. Just keep trying to build your budget so you can afford him later.
It's just hard, isn't it? Because it's like you could get him in now, and he gets a brace against Leicester.
Yeah,
and then you've got those points over the field. Whereas you could wait, you buy him cheaper next week, but if he does well, everyone then buys him, and you don't gain from it. So you could gain your budget, but yeah, I do find it hard because if this was a game where your budget didn't move, you'd pick him, wouldn't you? It wouldn't. I don't think it'd be a question. He would definitely be coming into my team. I think if this was Telegraph, for example.
Yeah.
I find that a hard balancing act because Foden as well. I think obviously Foden's got that illness over him, but you could actually get Foden is he 6.2? So you could buy Foden at the cheaper price now, have him against West Ham, and we're looking at 2 really good players that no one's going to go for.
Yeah,
they're punts, but they're not punts. They're really good players.
Eze scored.
Get in. No one's transferring him out now. I'm sure we've got some Eze out questions later in this. So we'll see about that. Yeah, I like both Foden and Watkins. It's just toying whether or not you want that -3 or -2 on Watkins. But Foden, if you can get Foden at 6.2 and no price decrease because he didn't play and you know he starts, I find that interesting.
It's just I'm not too worried because it's only 1 game at the minute.
Yeah.
If it was a double game week, I'd probably be more interested.
Yeah. Well, De Bruyne.
Yeah.
Get a nice rise off him when he's got to be a 0.3.
You think so?
15 points. If Saka got a 0.3, and he's 6.3. Yeah, that's got to be in it.
Yeah.
Graham, is it a mistake to transfer Vardy out game week 3? He's going nowhere for me.
Nah, I just brought him in because he's a long-term pick. I'm not arsed about his price going up and down. Plays with best team in league. He's got plenty of games. He's a good attacking threat. Yeah, stays for me.
It'd be nice to know what he's thinking. If he's thinking like, oh, I need to move someone on who's quite expensive to get in, like a Palmer or Foden later. So yeah, but when you see the lineups, I was thinking, is Vardy playing as a left-sided centre back now with Lewis going in midfield? But you look at the heat maps, Vardy still pushing into the left side, right outside the box, quite a lot. So yeah, he's still getting in attacking positions. So yeah, I wouldn't be rushing to sell him. And obviously, hopefully, you've got the price rise out of him last week as well. Yeah,
I think you got the interference sound.
Oh, phone on the table.
That's it. Yeah, I was worried about that with the Lewis getting in the more attacking positions, but it still seems to be doing okay. Robertson looked really good that last game.
Yeah, he did.
Grommers, we don't normally do the teams on on the questions, but we'll let you off this once. We've got the tab on the Discord, haven't we, for getting the team advice. But hang on, planning on taking Eze out. Are we now? What's he on now? 15 points this evening. I think that means Eze's essential now, doesn't it? Get him in. That's how fickle this game is.
Yeah.
There's no way you're taking him out now. So who are we moving then? I'd actually put in my notes, don't take Eze out, take Robinham out.
Yeah.
well, that's how fickle it is again. Maybe roll, mate.
If Eze and McCarthy score well tomorrow, then you'll be like, and just roll your transfers. You know what I mean? Get price rises.
It's gone from a disappointing 5 points for Eze and 2 points for a Robinham to an extra 15 off Eze. And what's he on now? 27 tackles tonight. He's got 16 points, 3 bonus, 11 tackles. Yeah. I don't think you need to do anything there.
Kante 2.0.
Yeah, I don't know, mate. I can't see many players I'd want to take out there other than maybe Isak.
Yeah. Isak to Havertz, Isak to Son, Isak to Jota.
Roll it.
It'd be nice to have the free transfers after the international break.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, just in case. Nathan, is Palmer essential? We've covered Palmer. I think he's going to be a very good pick this week, but maybe not essential. Another guy though is Madueke, now essential. How are we doing on this poll? What are your thoughts on him?
He had a good pre-season and got dropped. He's definitely not essential. Yeah, I mean, you get a nice rise.
45% say get him in. 55 say no way.
Until you see any sort of consistency from the lad, then you just can't advise to get him in, or not get him in, but just is he essential? Would you go choose him over a Palmer or a Foden or De Bruyne, somebody who's done it consistently through seasons? Yeah, not for me.
His hat trick. Did you see how much XG he got given for the game? I'm not a big believer. I get it, but he was given 0.5 XG for the game and scored a hat trick. Madueke. A lot of them were kind of straight at Sarr, and they are trying to sell him straight after it. But I think that was probably a bit harsh. 26 points, hat trick, 5 shots on target. I just think it's reactionary. No offense, because you brought Matoma in last week, but Matoma was the best player for that week. Everyone wanted to bring him in. Madueke is the best player this week. Everyone wants to bring him in. It's not going to keep being the same player does the best the following week. I know Matoma did get an assist and done pretty well, so I might eat my words again. Surely we want to be looking forward to this player has the best fixture.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Game's gone. Felix on the bench, Neto on the bench, and Kunku on the bench. They're linked with Tony. Palmer's probably the only one that's not droppable in that front line.
Yeah.
They'll reward him with the next game, but they're not going to play him every game.
Too many options. It's scary, isn't it?
Yeah. You're going to get the price rise, aren't you? 0.3.
Yeah, pick somebody else to get a price rise from.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it if your team's, if you're happy with most of your team, I don't mind it as a short term thing. But obviously, like you say, there's loads of options at Chelsea. You even got Mudryk, who hasn't even done anything yet. But they just was the other rumor today? Sancho swapped with Sterling.
I'd rather Sterling at 3 million playing for United than Madueke.
I remember, I know, going off a little bit, but when Maresca was in charge of Leicester, we have a player called Marcel Mavidua, and he scored. He started at the start of the season. He scored the winner against Cardiff, and the next game he was benched.
Oh.
And it was sort of like, no way, know who you are. Like, you're still like a young lad. Don't be getting all big headed. He basically said. So he's a bit like Pep. He'll just go boom and drop you.
Yeah.
He doesn't care. Doesn't care at all. Doesn't care about the fans. He doesn't care what anybody thinks. He look at what he said the other day about the players that have been rotting in the reserves. He said, I don't care if they've got 10-year contracts or whatever. They can just sit there, basically. So
he said something similar because didn't Madueke score in the the qualifier
off the bench?
And they said, "Oh, like, is that what you want to see from him?" And he went, "I don't care about him scoring goals. I care about him working hard on the training pitch. And that's something he's not done up until now." So you might be onto something there. That'll spook people.
Playing for under 23s.
Should go Stephen's question. So, Arsenal showing last season's clean sheet form with the best defence again in the league. Are they proving their 5 million plus price points? I think they're proving it, but do you want to pay that for them?
That's the thing.
It's tough.
I wouldn't pay it 5 million for a Arsenal defender. Maybe later in the season when you've got bigger budget. But not quite now. I'm looking for more explosive players over 5 million.
Yeah.
I still think that's so close to Trent's price. You've both got Trent, but like I haven't, and I'd be getting Trent in first. He's been unlucky not to have got a return so far.
Yeah.
And I think their defence has been better than Arsenal's statistically so far. Definitely got a lot more control, haven't they, now under Slot? Yeah, I think it's too much.
Like they don't offer much else. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them, isn't it? It's like Munoz has got 15 points so far. Adam Webster 17 points. Wout Fair 17 points. Porro 18 points. Romero 21 points. I know obviously they had returns in other areas, but they're all like 2 million, 1.5 million cheaper. Makes a big difference elsewhere in your squad. Don't get me wrong, like Arsenal are good for clean sheets, and Ben White were an absolute monster last season.
Did you like him kicking that ball at McGinn? You see that?
I haven't seen that.
You're not? That was brilliant. Saliba went down. I can't remember who booted. McGinn booted the ball at Saliba while he was on the floor, and then Ben White came out of nowhere and booted the ball at McGinn.
And you just know that they're both like that as well, don't you? They're both like a bit of a
bit fiery.
Yeah. I know everyone thinks that Ben White is the pretty boy sort of thing, but he's a shithouse. He is. I wouldn't pay the money. Not yet. But you say not yet, but it's just going to keep getting away.
Get him on. Get him after back-to-back conceding back-to-back games.
So we've just had Villa. We've got Brighton, which is not out of the picture that we could concede in that one. Followed by North London derby. Followed by Champions League. Then City.
Yeah, end of game week 5, they could be 4 million.
I saw that as a chance to maybe pick them up a bit cheaper, but it might just be that they come back down from where they've risen from, potentially.
Yeah.
But then it's Leicester. I can't see what's after that, but I'm pretty sure it might be Southampton.
Bournemouth.
Decent.
So maybe
another international break after Southampton.
It's horrible, isn't it? And it's Carsley.
Yeah.
Where are we now? Thoughts on Palmer and Madueke were covered. This is thoughts on it as a double up.
Yeah, it'd been good for Wolves game.
Should have got Kong to explain why he's going for it.
Yeah, I messaged him. It was short notice, wasn't it? We messaged Connor right before we come on to try and get him on to fight Madueke's corner. But I just said to him, "Don't worry, we'll get you on week after to give you best Madueke replacements instead." He said, but Palace is at home next. Palace looked pretty leaky at the back. Chelsea just put 6 past Wolves. Just lost Anderson, with Gahey looking very likely to join Newcastle. So surely a no-brainer on the double up. Not for me.
No, not for me.
But I do like
Sorry,
Palmer. Ben, this one's for you, I think. Thoughts on Oasis?
Classing it, getting back together. Are you gonna go?
I won't be going for tickets. I don't mind them. Do you know what? It's one of them things wherever you are and it comes on, I belt them out. But I'm not that bothered about seeing them live. I can't be doing.
I think it's brilliant, but I don't want to go through the stress of trying to get a ticket. To be honest, I watched them at Eaton Park years ago in Manchester, and they're playing that again at Eaton Park. So I don't know. I don't know whether I could be alright sitting there for all that time just to be told now all these robots have bought all the tickets and now they're selling them all at $5,000 a piece. Pisses me off.
Yeah. I've seen Liam as BDR. I've seen Liam Gallagher on his own. I've seen Noel Gallagher's half Lambert. We've never seen them together. So, yeah, I really want to try and get tickets for this.
Mega fan.
I watched them at Eaton Park with Kasabian as the
class.
The supporting act. It were unbelievable.
Yeah, Kasabian, one of the best bands I've seen live.
Yeah. I
was saying in the Discord, like I had, I think it was probably the first festival I'd been to. I think I was only like 16 or 17, V-Fest, and they were headliners. And it was Chelmsford one. They did Chelmsford and can't remember where the other one was at that V-Fest. It used to be 2 places at once, but I went to the Chelmsford one. And they'd played the day before, and they were due to play on the day at Chelmsford. And then it was probably before you didn't get all the notifications on your phone and all that. So it just come up on the big screen. Oasis will not be headlining now. They've pulled out. And I think that's when they'd had a row or something like that. And then they broke up. They broke up after it. So yeah, I just remember seeing everyone, every time that sign come up on screen, everyone would just start booing.
Crazy.
Yeah, hopefully they don't do that again. Oz says, jokes aside, any of you chancing Nedelevic? That's the guy you said from Aston Villa?
Yeah.
Is it 2.5, is he?
Yeah.
No, because I don't have to say his name every podcast.
Let's call him Ned.
Yeah. Ned and Tim.
Yeah.
They're the two we can't say. Are you getting Ned in?
Well, I've only started looking into it tonight, and I think he could be an option. 5 tackles, and obviously starting for Villa in defence. They might put Conser right back though, but I heard somewhere that he said Conser's now nailed at centre back. I don't know where I heard it, but I'm gonna have to look it up.
They're trying to sell their other. I think they were trying to sell.
Carlos.
Yeah, they were trying to send him to Fulham though. But they've obviously just got Anderson. But yeah, he's obviously not feeling very wanted.
Yeah, Conser played a lot of right back last year though, but they brought this guy in. He's only 18, isn't he?
Yeah.
So keep me on it. I'm not going to bring him in yet.
What about you, Tony?
You know, as well, you look at they've got the international break coming up. Matty Cash could come back dead quickly from injury. Always happens, doesn't it? People are saying, no, he's out to the end of September, but then he might come back at the beginning of September. So
Yeah, that's what I'd wrote down because it was there was some Twitter pages that said they estimate it'll be 4 to 6 weeks out if it's hamstring. And I was looking then, and it says we'd have a 2-week break, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
For the internationals, and then it would be obviously 1 game week as well. So yeah, it could be a short-term one.
Yeah, too short term that.
Nobbles, only 2 weeks in, but what do you feel has been your best and worst? Who do you think have been your best and worst players, and which ones are you hoping to get in the next few weeks?
That is it's too early in it. I mean, because I'd have said Kamada were one of my worst, but that he's had a nice score tonight, which puts him as a decent pick now at 2 million. So Robinson, I think, when you do obviously we do our drafts and stuff at the start of the season, and you start to form your team, and there's people that never leave your team and your drafts, and Robinson was one of them. There are quite a few at 3 million in and out. Livramento were one of them, and Robinson has basically Ron Seal Robinson does exactly what he says on the tin. he just scores points, regardless of clean sheets. So I've been very happy with him. I think he's up there with the best shout. I'd say my worst shout is Isak. Kind of obviously played the fixtures. I'm not in regret of having Isak, but if they'd have had, I'd have just wished that they had a bit of a crapper start because I wouldn't have gone anywhere near him. But yeah, that's my probably best and worst.
Again, fine margins, wouldn't it? Because that red card wrecked the first fixture, basically.
Yeah, it did. It did.
Yeah, pretty happy with all my team. Isak, when I first did my first draft, I did have Son in my team, so that's a bit annoying. I only went for Isak because of the potential Carabao Cup and obviously good fixtures for the first few weeks. The week, and like we said, the game week ain't over yet, so Isak could score a hat-trick tomorrow, and then we'll be laughing. Look at Kamada and Eze tonight. They've both gone off, done really well, because Eze, obviously, you could see that he's been playing really well. He had a free kick chalked off. He had hit crossbar in a second game. He's had loads of shots, and he's come off tonight. Kamada, we've seen he had the potential to be a bargain, and I've kept him in for this double game week, and he's gone off for me tonight, so I'm buzzing with that. Been happy with Robinson. I didn't fancy him against United, so I brought him in for the second game week because I like the fixtures for the next few. Yeah. And obviously I wanted Trent, Porro, done well. Probably my goalkeeper's probably been the worst one so far, but I didn't expect much from a 2 million goalkeeper anyway. Pretty happy with my team. Fatu's got 7 points this week now. Just got his appearance point. Probably get another rise out of him if I keep him. So yeah, pretty happy. Maybe the Son move would have been the one I would have been happier with, but yeah, pretty happy. I think over 100 points a week is decent, so good start.
I think it's I know he has put that in the question, but it's kind of too early, isn't it?
It is early
to say who's best and worst, but yeah, I'd agree on Isak, to be honest with you. Robinson, brilliant. But yeah, I've not had a bad couple of weeks really, so yeah, happy with how that's gone. Best value, would you say? I'm guessing this is players outside of who we've picked, but I think Robinson's got to be there, isn't he?
Yeah,
the best value.
Definitely for a defender. What's he got? 15 points in 2 games. Shame he didn't play tonight. They've had a nice clean sheet, possibly.
Yeah.
But that might sort his price out, like potentially, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah. If he'd have started and got the clean sheet, but if he'd have ended up coming on,
Yeah,
ruined
could
it,
have
maybe.
upset it.
I don't think he was even on the bench.
No, he weren't.
Like Smith Rowe, for example, got that goal, didn't he, in the last game? But he's come on now as a sub and got 1 point. So is that going to stop?
I think it said it has to be a certain amount of minutes for it to affect the price rise. I read in they did an article last week. I can't remember if it was 20 minutes or 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, 10 minutes. He came on in the 87th, so that shouldn't matter, should it?
Yeah, it shouldn't matter. No. Last season it did, didn't it? It affected the prices. Yeah, I think goalkeeper wise, I think Martinez is going to be one that possibly could be a good value. Probably going to go down again. Oh, he didn't go down last week, but he will go down now with conceding again. He's 3.5 at the minute, but he's going to be one of the cheaper Champions League goalies.
Yeah.
Like you say, I agree on Robinson defender wise. I think midfield, I think Rodgers is going to be interesting with the Champions League starting 2.5 million and might get a rise this week. And up front, Jordan Ayew, 2.2 million. Scored a bracket tonight. He's good for bonus points, and I've seen him he was getting tackled loads tonight, winning free kicks and that. He's good at like getting away from defenders. But no, not really. I wouldn't go for him. Just
boy, Tim has got to be in there, hasn't he, now?
Yeah.
After that, Joan. He's just taking all of Garner's tackles, isn't he? That's what's happened.
Yeah, he's stalled.
Garner was actually starting, I think, today. So that's that.
Danny Welbeck.
Yeah.
Value striker.
He's going to get injured, isn't he?
He's guaranteed, yeah. 2.8 million or 23 points. He's bloody.
It is funny though, the like bias we have with certain players, isn't it? Because Welbeck doing that, if that was someone, I don't know, someone different, we'd be going, oh yeah, we've got to get them in.
Yeah.
Goal and assist, goal.
Yeah.
Because it's Welbeck, we've known him all this time, sort of thing. It's not very glamorous, is it?
Yeah.
Did we downplay Kobe Mainu? I know a few of us in the community were sort of laughing, weren't we? When I think he was one of the most highly owned players when the game first come out. Mainu at 3 million. But he's now got one off of max bonus in the first game, 5 points, and then he got maximum bonus against Fulham. Could he be a cheap enabler to get in before Europe? But the timing's not good with Liverpool.
Yeah. I'm not sure about him. 3.3 million. Bit, I don't know. I think it's a bit dear for him. It sounds mad, but yeah, I think you want to get more explosive players in that position. Really, I mean, that Tim from Everton, Imodium. I like that one. He's a good price, and he'll definitely go up 2.1 now to 2.1. Be a good one to hold for a couple more weeks if you wanted to get an enabler in. I'm not too sure about Mainu.
Are you interested in Rodgers?
Yeah.
He did look very good against us.
Yeah, looked really good, didn't he? Yeah, definitely one to look at for when probably game week 4 for me.
You need the goals and assists from him, though. That's the only thing, don't you? You do need those attacker returns.
Yeah.
But he put it on a plate for Watkins. Watkins had put that in.
Yeah, could have been an assist.
We seem to have lost Tony. Hopefully we can get him back. What we got up next? Question from DT Philip. I was thinking Madueke and Jackson for Onana and Isak, or Madueke and Aina/Kilman for Onana and Hall.
That's a nice thought.
You can't be getting Kilman in for Man City. That's who they got next, isn't it?
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. No,
I'd question why you want Jackson. To be honest, that feels like getting someone in from the week before.
Tony loves Jackson.
Oh yeah, I'll badmouth Jackson while Tony's not here. Must be struggling to get back in, Tony. Yeah, well, we've covered Madueke, so that one's down to you. But I think there's better options than Jackson. Scored the last game, you might get the rise, but I'm seeing you've got Onana in your team, and I'm guessing you bought Onana in because he scored the week before, and now you want him out.
Onana got 7. Is it the goalie?
No, I'm assuming that's
Mid.
the mid. Yeah,
He got 7 points this week, didn't he?
he managed.
Oh no,
7.
1 point. 1 point.
1 point.
Sorry. Yeah, 1 point. Average 7 points. Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's like if you bought, maybe you started with Onana, that's fair enough. But if you've bought an Onana in because he scored the week before and you're already wanting him out again,
Well, he's gained a 0.3 on him, hasn't he?
Yeah,
it's keep moving him on for to make money.
I think it'll catch you up eventually. You're not building towards the team you want. You're getting the money, then we'll get to game week 6 when it's Champions League, Europa League, and you'll go, oh, I've not got anyone I want. That's what I'd be worried about.
Onana might have Champions League as well.
Looking at price rises, so you would get the. Yeah, so I think you'd want the price rises, but you don't want a price rise, but then you have to have Kilman for Man City, for example.
I don't think Onana will go down, averaging 7 points over 2 games for 2.5 million. Might be just a wait and see with him, I think.
Hang on, see what the European draw's like on him.
Yeah.
But then would you swap him for Rodgers? Similar price.
Yeah, could be another one if you want to make profit. If you think Rodgers is going to do better than Onana.
I think Onana probably plays more games. He starts them both, doesn't he?
Yeah. Could be one where you roll it. It's that it's with the international break coming up as well. If you're not sure, probably better off just doing nothing.
What's the price of Jackson? We're just talking your boy Jackson, Tony.
3.9 Jackson is.
I mean, he scored that last game, but 12 points. Goal and an assist against Wolves. So you will get the rise. It's just, can you get the rise and someone that you want? Deep down, do you want Jackson? We can't hear you, Tony.
You're muted.
Hey,
that's it.
You're back in the room.
Up there saying Mike is muted for some reason. Must have heard me speaking, but yeah, the Chelsea lads, it's dangerous bringing them in. Isn't it? I've even got a small little bit of fear for Palmer. There's that many of them.
How do you feel if you're Jackson right now and you get linked to Ivan Toney?
Jackson. So you can have Jackson and Kunku Tony, Madueke, Mudryk, Palmer, Yao Felix,
Osimhen,
Neto. I mean, as soon as Chelsea haven't scored by half time, they're just going to start rotating. You're going to struggle to get 2 points out of some players for performance. Not performance marks, sorry, appearance marks. It's going to get silly. We say about, obviously, player fixtures, when you always want players that are nailed. I just think it's quite dangerous going near Chelsea at the minute. I'd like Manesca probably 4 or 5, 6 games time to settle on maybe a starting 11 once the transfer window's shut as well, because they just won't stop dipping into it, will they?
Did you say he rotated? I know you said he was quite ruthless, but did he rotate a fair bit as well? Or did he
pretty much.
settle?
He had a few favourites and then he mixed it up. But yeah, looking at Nico Jackson's minutes as well, he's only played 68 and 66 minutes in the Prem. So comes off early as well. I know it's only 2 games. But it's not very good to see that.
And even going back through the whole team, you've got Dewsbury, who's gone there,
yeah,
Sado, Lavia. There's just too many options everywhere. Like for fantasy football, like obviously what he's having to deal with on training pitch, but for fantasy football wise, it's just a little bit, It's very enticing when someone batters somebody 6-2 and you're like, it'd have been nice to have been in on them goals, but I just say Palmer. If I'm going anywhere near Chelsea, it would be Palmer at this moment in time.
It was a bit of a basketball game, wasn't it, that one? I didn't think the Chelsea looked particularly good, to be honest. They were awful at the back, I thought.
And we spoke at the start of the season as well about Wolves, and they're so depleted. So, take that performance with how you will kind of thing, like how there was against City, toothless. Didn't look, do you know what I mean? It was a bit of a training game, really, for City. Wolves struggling a little bit. Wolves, they could go down.
Put Craig Dawson on off the bench. He might be someone that could stabilise them a little bit. I think after this game,
Craig Dawson, I like him.
I think this is going to be this could end up being that game where, do you know, they've been trying to play 4 at the back, haven't they? This could be the one where they go, do you know what? Let's go back to 3.
Yeah,
3 centre half, swing backs. Sometimes you need a good shake up, don't you?
Yeah, you do. Especially after conceding 6, you got to do something about it. You got to help out that back line.
I know obviously they did look good in this game, but I kind of still just think, I know you want the price rises, but I feel like we want to try and look price rises and look forward a little bit, because I don't think anyone's. The second part of the question is, when choosing Chelsea players, who other than Palmer do you feel like is a nailed-on starter? I don't think
we can't answer that with any degree of certainty at all.
They've not changed the back line, have they, in the last 2 games? But other than that...
But yeah, they've got somebody... How much did they pay for Tosin from Fulham? I know, obviously, they've gone with Colwill and Fofana. Fofana, obviously, out for the whole of last season.
You can't trust him, can you? You bring him in...
No, I mean... He's just... Yeah, I don't trust any of it. They're not options at the minute. Not for me.
One for you. Get them headphones off. Flash us your hair.
It's an old one.
How much did Tony raise for charity with his latest tramline haircut? Oh, for a good cause.
You've got to be young enough and good looking enough to pull off a tramline, Ashley.
Get a couple in the eyebrows as well.
Hey, don't tempt me. No, the little lad's got the same hairdo as well. Nice. We go to barbers and get a Foden.
And his other question was, is it too dangerous to do the in and out transfers of Saka, given his incoming fixtures?
Ben, that's one for you off Ashley there.
Afraid so, yeah. I think it can be too dangerous. Having learnt from that last season, I took him out for a 4-for-2. The other player had 4 games, and Saka come back good in both games. I think it must have been about 10 points at least in both games. Can't remember exactly. He's just in this game, like elite players are just, you just put them in and leave them, don't you? You don't really want to take them out. One week they might only get 4 points, but most weeks they're coming away with 8s at least. So yeah, you really don't want to do it. Just leave them in.
I've had it so many times, haven't I? Doing the hokey cokey with Kane, Salah.
Yeah.
You can end up missing all of them.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be a bit more chilled out with these premiums and give them a little bit more of a chance if I can.
He's blatantly going to get Palmer, and he's going to do that Saka move.
Yeah.
Big Chelsea fan as well.
Decent options, aren't they? What do you want to do? Should we do the leagues off we're kind of midweek, aren't we? Do you want to still do them?
No, we'll leave them till next week, the leagues.
Still early doors.
Yeah, we're mid game week, aren't we? And I didn't do the screenshots because it was literally games on while we're podding. So we'll save that for the next pod. Sorry if you're top.
Yeah, just while we're on it, on positions, we'll just give a quick shout out to Aaron Thornhill. 27 points from Kamada and Ezia tonight, and he's up to 226 in the leaderboard, which is a really nice start. And then just coming in as well, Luke High, good start, lads. 234 with 4 Newcastle potential tomorrow as well, and roll transfers. So yeah, cracking start for you. Well done, Luke. Well done, Aaron.
Nice one. Yeah, it's mad, isn't it though? Like this early. I mean, I was getting a bit excited on Saturday. I was like, hey, I'm 1.2k or whatever. Then I think Palmer played, and I was like, oh, I'm 6k now. Great.
Yeah, I mean, today, so I started at something like 10.5k or something, and once that Kamada goal went in straight away, it shot me up 7,000 places. I mean, yeah, you can't read too much into your positions. Obviously, it's really nice to be up near the top, and just keep trying to make sensible moves if you have had a really good start, and you should be there or thereabouts.
Nice one. Well, cheers to everyone that tuned in. We've got some obviously non-Patreon members today because we put it out straight to everyone. But if you are interested in becoming a Patreon member, you've got all the benefits on the screen here. Early access to the pods and Discord access. And we are working on something for the people that are not too sure on Patreon. We're looking to put together YouTube channel memberships thing they've got going on. We'll get you the access to the Discord. But yeah, we'll do a little post out on that when that becomes available. And then one last thing as well. We've got a link in the description below for the Fantasy Football Hub. So it's really handy if you're looking at if you're into your FPL, it's amazing for that. But I've just been using it currently for Dream Team wise, just to look at the Opta stats. Is pretty helpful. So that's actually how I saw my Pereira pick the other day. Obviously, I saw that it was good for bonus and PPM, but he was like really good for set. Like it gives you the breakdown of who's taking all the set pieces, direct free kicks, corners, all that sort of stuff. So it's worth checking out. We've got a affiliate link in the description below if you fancy signing up. Supports the channel as well. Anything else we've got going on?
I'll just say a big thanks to everyone who's giving well wishes and congratulations on the birth of my third child. Because I can't reply to everybody that has sent me a message, but thanks very much. Always good. And hopefully in 20 years' time you'll be picking him in your dream teams.
Project Mbappe. That's what they call it, isn't
it? That's it, mate.
No, congratulations. Well, that's a wrap. See you boys later.
Thanks, everyone. Cheers.
Bye.
Cheers, everyone.